Adequate notice of the December 11th, 2025 meeting of the Township Committee has been provided in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act by providing written notice and agenda of the meeting on a bulletin board in Municipal Building 1000 Route 10, Township of Hanover, by hand delivering, mailing, or faxing such notice to the following newspapers: Morris County Daily Record, the Star Ledger, Hanover Eagle, and by filing the same with the Township Clerk.
Roll call, Committeeman Cahill.
Here.
Committeeman Faramasca. Here. Committeeman Francioli.
Here.
Committeeman Mahalko is excused this evening, and Mayor Gallagher.
Here.
4 members in attendance.
Please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance, and please remain standing for our prayer led by John Faramasca. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, please watch over and guide this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding to help make the best decisions for our residents. Please bless our first responders and township volunteers who help to keep us all safe. Also, bless our township employees and residents. Lastly, please let us pray for the men and women of the United States Armed Forces who stand vigil over us always. Amen.
Quite a group. Okay, Kristen. You're gonna read the presentation? What?
You can read it.
Oh, you want to read the presentation?
Go ahead.
Okay, we're going to start tonight with a special presentation, Distinguished Service Plaques to 9 members of the Whippany Fire Department who responded to a Scotch Plains issue for mutual aid swiftwater rescue on the night of July 14th, 2025. Brian?
So yeah, if I may, I just want to read something very quickly, and then I'm going to ask the mayor to join me to present the plaques. So just a background story for those of you that aren't familiar. On the evening of July 14th, members of the Whippany Fire Department Swiftwater Rescue Team were asked to respond to Scotch Plains to assist, with reports of over 40 vehicles being trapped in the water due to intense and sudden flooding. 5 Whippany Fire Department members trained at the Swiftwater technician level, the highest level, and 4 support staff members responded in rescue apparatus, which included the department's Zodiac rescue boat. They were Deputy Fire Chief Derek Shearer, Captain Jack Koba, Lieutenant John Gethins, Lieutenant Joe Santini, Firefighter EMT Ben Bradley, Firefighter EMT Mike Cowley, Firefighter EMT Kenny Moeller, and Firefighter Guy Cusmano, and Firefighter Anthony Santini. In coordination with the Morris County Mutual Aid coordinators, Kevin Lowry and James Schultz, Whippany Swiftwater Rescue Team positioned themselves on Route 10. Once at the intersection, the boat was promptly put in the water, and Deputy Chief Derek Scher, Lieutenant John Gethins, Firefighter Ben Bradley, and Firefighter Michael Cowley began rescue operations by assisting in removing people from their homes, businesses, and vehicles and getting them to a safer location. While on scene, Whippany Rescue assisted between 15 and 20 people trapped by the floodwaters. In addition, there were 2 other potentially life-threatening situations in which Whippany Fire was called in to assist. Fortunately, no one was hurt and no first responders' lives were put at risk. After the rescue operation was complete, the team members assisted others with overall cleanup and were released around midnight that night. So on behalf of the Township Committee, and of course on behalf of the Township residents, we thank you very much for stepping up and helping our fellow communities and basically demonstrating what it means to be a first responder. And with that said, while you 9 are here to be honored, I mean, it goes without saying that we are very grateful to all of our first responders, all of our volunteers, all of our firemen and EMT and police. You do a special job, and we really do appreciate and understand how important you all are to us. So thank you very, very much. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to hand out the plaque, or the mayor hand out the plaque. Okay. So we'll start the Deputy Chief, Derek Shear.
Thank you very much.
Like we're back in high school.
Thank you. All right. Captain Jack Cova. And Lieutenant John Geffens.
Thank you.
Lieutenant Joe Santini. All right, Michael Cowley. All right, and then, Firefighter Anthony Santini. All right, now Firefighter Kenneth Muller. All right, your turn, Guy Kuzma. All right, and last but not least, Ben Bradley. That's it. That's it. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Why don't you guys take a picture? Take a picture in the front. Take a picture. Yeah.
You guys want to jump in for a picture? Right in the middle.
I'll wait till Ian's done.
Be afraid to smile, girl.
Hey, don't go anywhere, hold on. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Hey, thank you, sir.
Do you want them? You can take them, everybody's names are on them.
It's easier for you guys to take it.
Good job.
Thank you. If everybody would like to leave, you may leave.
Very nice. There was a semblance of
This is a meeting with the airport. Yeah, 12 o'clock. Yeah, I've got about a 1 or 2 hour window, that's it. It's gonna be useful.
You good?
Not gonna be,
Is Fred coming? Where's Fred?
get anything done.
Is Fred here? Is Fred here? Because he's...
Let me see if I can, let me get CV back.
And this is their 3 quotes.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
First on the agenda is the approval of the Township Committee meeting minutes of November 13th. May I please have a motion to approve November 13th, 2025 meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So approved. Next is the public hearing and adoption of ordinance numbers 29-2025 and 30-2025. Proof of publication that the notice of introduction of ordinance 29 appeared in full in the November 20th issue of the Daily Record, and ordinance 30 appeared in full in the November 28th issue of the Daily Record. At this time, may I have a motion to convene the public hearing on ordinance numbers 29-2025 and 30-2025?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone in chambers wishing to be heard concerning ordinance 29-2025 or 30-2025? If so, please state your name and address for the record.
Motion closed.
Second.
Wait.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Christine Gaddy, and I'm a resident of Cedar Knolls. I want to thank the Township Committee for their service to our community. I know it's no easy task, and you all put in a lot of time and energy in all you do, and it's truly appreciated. I want to voice my support of ordinance 29-2025. I want to especially thank all those involved in seeing this through, especially Mayor Gallagher. The community has been very vocal about the major crime concerns at the Red Carpet Inn. The Red Carpet Inn property owners have been openly violating our regulations for many, many years and have put a huge strain on all of our resources. I'm interested in hearing more about the plans for this property and hope you can go into more detail tonight. I hope our township fully enforces our hotel regulations for all hotels in the township. Enforcement is key, and lack thereof, unfortunately, brings us to situations like we've had there. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Gary Kaiser, 16 Lynn Terrace, Whippany. Also in support of this ordinance. I just have one question. How are we going to finance this?
Fred, would you like to talk about that now?
The financing would likely come from the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. Now, the purpose of this ordinance and the acquisition, either by way of negotiation or condemnation, would be to help the township meet its affordable housing obligation. So by doing that, the fund that could be utilized is the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. The trust fund is actually, it's not taxpayer dollars. The trust fund comes from developers over the years for commercial development. They contribute to that trust fund. So there's a balance in that account, and what the administration is looking to do is utilize that balance and some of the funds in that account toward the acquisition of this property. It may be over time, say if there's a loan or a bond, and then funds would be paid out of that account. Now, I don't want to say it in the way like the entire balance of the account is available, because there's a lot of different committed uses under various affordable housing obligations. But to give you an idea of already what's been collected, it's a serious account. There's nearly, I think, almost $5 million in that account. So the town is ready to move forward, if need be, and utilize some funds from that account.
Thank you.
Sure.
So Fred, to just piggyback onto Gary's question,
Yes.
with the way this structure is being laid out, there is no opportunity for taxpayer funds. We are going to be using these funds, and these funds coming in at a later date
Yeah.
from this type of program.
Yes, that would be the initial goal, Mayor. I mean, that could change, but at this point, that's what's been discussed with the governing body and the administration, that in fact, that's where hopefully those funds would come from. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Exactly.
Hi.
Yes.
Good evening, gentlemen. Carol from Chenko, Whippany, New Jersey.
Carol, keep the microphone up.
I wanted to thank you for all your efforts in this regard for ordinance number 29-2025, and I want to thank you for doing this for our community. It's very much appreciated by so many. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Anyone else?
Lindsay Hollering, Community Advocate. I'd like to say thank you to all of you guys for what you're doing with Ordinance 29, 2025. A big question, though, that I do have, because a lot of people, ask me is, when do you think it'll all be done and closed and things of that nature?
Fred, do you want to take a swing at that?
Yeah, it really depends on, it could be rather quickly if there's a negotiation that's favorable to the township, and if has to go a different route, that process by eminent domain takes longer because it has to go through the courts. So I think it could be anywhere from 3 months to 9 or 10 months, if I had to give a gauge at this stage. But you
Okay.
really don't know until you get into those negotiations, and certainly that's a step that'll have to be taken.
Okay, all right.
And Fred, if you want to, please take a minute and explain our arrangement and our legal agreement that would prohibit children from coming back into this motel
I
throughout
think-
this exercise.
And Mayor, I think what I'd like to ask, is I do want to explain that, but I think for the purposes of this public hearing, until you close it, then I'd like to, because this acquisition, so that it's very clear for the record, I know there's other things that have been referenced about what's gone on at the hotel, and nobody could probably speak more to that than the mayor and some people like yourself who've been there. But at the same time, this ordinance, because it's very sensitive to why the township is acquiring it, is because there's a fourth round affordable housing obligation. It's always been a very significant obligation to Hanover Township because of its desirability, and the governing body believes that this location would be a very helpful piece of property to acquire, to construct affordable housing. We say or reconstruct based on the existing structure and convert it to housing, not,
I know. I know what you're getting at.
what maybe was tried to be used as housing, but for what I would say, real affordable housing units in accordance with the state law and the guidelines to live there. So from that standpoint, it's been identified, especially with so many different property owners that have sought to join the affordable housing matter of the township. We have at least 5 different entities who have been interested, so the governing body thought, well, here's a property that might be a very good, desirable location, and a property that would lend itself to some affordable housing opportunities for the township to acquire the property and take control of its own destiny.
Yes, no, I totally agree with that.
And then, Mayor, the other part I'll answer right after the public hearing, only because if there's a record on the vote, it should be more towards the purpose, and then I'd be glad to answer that because it's still relevant, of course.
And the reason why, the timing one is a very difficult question, because we've been asked about the timing, and the only thing we have to line up our timing is our agreement, because it has a start and a stop.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked Fred if you could look at the arrangement and the agreement just for timing. But the timing, there's a few variables, and we're going to be as aggressive throughout the next few months as we have in the last few months.
Okay, good, great. Thank you guys, for all that you guys are doing. It is more than appreciated, and it's something that needed to be done. And as sad as it is, I still know a lot of people that live there that are good people, but even they're like, this has got to go. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Mary Beth Cowley, 22 Troy Hills Road. When you say negotiate, could the state do something so you wouldn't take it away, to buy the property? Could the state get involved and make you an offer or make an offer so it wouldn't go bye-bye?
You know me well enough to know I have a comment or two, but I'm going to ask Fred to handle this one.
Yeah, we are not really the state has we've been very responsive to Mayor Gallagher and as far as the issues about placement of families and things, but as far as acquiring the property and things of that nature, I think the governing body's position was it would be something that the township would want to control the destiny of that property. So if you get any other agencies involved, then they'll have the final say as opposed to this governing body. And I think they wanted to control the destiny of the property for affordable housing purposes here and not utilize any state money at this point.
When will people stop going to that hotel? Give you any indication to that when you will start?
I think I could answer that, Mayor, after this public hearing.
Yeah, let's do it after.
Yeah, it's an irrelevant question, but I'd rather answer it when the public hearing's done with this ordinance, if that's okay. I can answer it.
I agree. Thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, Christine Egbert. I'm a resident in town. Quick question, and thank you. We definitely support you. My question is, wasn't a portion of the housing going to be for seniors? And does that count towards affordable housing, or no? We were
On
hopeful
this
that there'd be-
property?
Yeah, on this property, there'd be senior housing.
Do you want to answer that in a perfect world?
You hope that be the case, but candidly, it's whatever affordable housing obligation gets imposed on the township, you really want to keep it open for whatever it might be. Yeah, in other words, let's just say the rules change, and there's some type of obligation that says the town is capped out. If you limit yourself and say, well, it's only going to be senior, then you could have a problem. Somebody could say, well, now you don't need the property because you've met your senior quota. Candidly, the governing body's saying, we're going to say it's for affordable housing right now. If I had to, at this point, estimate if that would be the case for senior housing, I think it probably would be, based on our plan. But in the event that there's some other need, then we want to keep that door open so that somebody can't say, well, you only needed it for senior, you have senior. There may be what would be a family use potentially if it came to that. But understand, let's just say it's senior or family use, it would not be in the current setup that it is now. It would be totally overhauled, reconstructed, or torn down, so.
Livable places. Nice, thank you.
Anyone else?
May I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to take two separate votes for both ordinances. On adoption, may I have a motion to adopt ordinance 29-2025?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
On roll call, Committeeman Cahill.
Aye.
Committeeman Francioli.
Aye.
Committeeman Faramasca.
Aye.
Mayor Gallagher.
Aye.
So adopted. Next, may I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 30-2025?
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
On roll call, Committeeman Cahill.
Aye.
Committeeman Faramasca.
Aye.
Committeeman Francioli.
Aye.
Mayor Gallagher.
Aye.
So adopted. Next on the agenda, we have resolutions 227-2025 through 233-2025. This will be a consent agenda. Does any member of the committee have any questions regarding these resolutions? May I have a motion to pass the resolutions as a consent agenda?
So moved. So moved.
May I have a second? Resolutions are so approved. Next, we have a raffle application, RL 3505, for the Gonconda Prince Hall Shriners for a raffle application. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Raffle is so approved. And next, we have to pay our bills in the amount of $5,454,326.86. May I please have a motion to pay the bills? John, would you do so?
Motion for the CFO, Mr. Esposito, to pay our bills.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bills are paid. Mayor and the members of the committee, that clears the agenda, and I thank you.
Thank you very much, Krista. Great job.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to open to the public. Can I have a motion to open to the public?
So moved.
Can I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
If anyone from the public would like to address the governing body about anything, please step up to the podium, state your name, address, and you have 4 minutes.
James Hark with Cedar Knolls Fire Department. Just wanted to extend an invite to the Township Committee that on Tuesday, December 16th at 6:30 PM, we're doing a Hanukkah celebration and menorah lighting at our firehouse. So we hope you and the public will come join us on that evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
James, I would just like to thank you for everything you do, more and more in the last few months. I'm starting to understand your role, and I think you do a great job, and thank you for everything. And Merry Christmas to you and your
Thank you,
family.
Mr. Mayor. Merry Christmas.
Anyone else? Gary, you're smiling away back there. You got anything else for us?
It's my joke with Mr. Horn.
Okay. Seeing none, hearing none, motion to close?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, guys, if you want, John, we'll start with you. Take a minute or two to address the public.
Engineering, a quick update on roads. Road paving for the season has been completed. We had to halt because of the weather. Top of Horse Hill Road got done. That was a very important road for us to complete. Bee Meadow Exit Drive was done. Algonquin will be completed in the spring of '26. Planning Department, we have underway at 190 Park Avenue, a new building that will house 60 affordable units for seniors. Planning Department will be conducting a re-examination, evaluation of the master plan, with emphasis on developer regulations. There's an important bill in Assembly. This Township Committee spends a significant time working on how do we optimize affordable housing. There's a bill in the Assembly called A5483. This is an important bill, and we would like your help in facilitating expression of your support for this. What this bill means is that when there's a community in need of affordable housing, another community who has affordable housing funds can send those funds to the community in need. So this is a great opportunity for us to provide affordable housing in an area in greatest need. Please phone or write to your assemblyman about this. The Environmental Green Team is planning on a redo of something very successfully that we brought back called a tree giveaway. So we were able to give away trees during our Hanover Township Day celebration, and over 40 people received trees as a result of that. In addition, the Green Team, working with the Environmental Commission, successfully installed something called the Gander Disbander. What is a Gander Disbander? A Gander Disbander is a laser float that was installed in the pond at Bee Meadow that will move the geese out of the area. And the real benefit of that, moving the geese out of the area, is a significant reduction in the mosquito population in that area. This was led by Arthur Brucheshort, who is an Eagle Scout candidate. It was supported by the Whippany Fire Rescue Team, and in addition, Chris Matisich, Green Team co-chair. Wishing all the best for a wonderful holiday season, a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and all the joys of this time of year.
Thanks, John. Rob?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few details, just a few items. Just want to bring you up to date with the Morris County Transportation Committee. We met last month. We are going forward, along with the county design, on the redesign of the Route 24 Park Avenue Columbia Turnpike intersection. As most know, that's 5 lanes that come together off of Route 24, and it's been a source of great problems to us for years, accidents, etc. So it's been funded. We're just waiting for the DOT to release those funds, and then we'll go forward with the initial designs on that note. We're also examining the issues that we're having at peak hours at Route 24 in Hanover, Route 202 in Hanover Avenue. The backup there, as most know, go from 202, backs all the way up almost to the Lowe's. I think we're going to try and coax them into acquiring some additional property for a dedicated right-hand turning lane off of Hanover Avenue to relieve some of the congestion there at peak hour. We have a great opportunity coming up. We're working with Arc Morris. We've been partnering with them, as many know, on many group homes in our town. We also have a unique opportunity that we're looking at now for being one of the first towns to entertain the idea of a dedicated handicap park for handicapped special needs individual. We have lands that are available, and Arc Morris is moving forward on funding. If that be the case, we'll partner with them on doing this very unique and very needed park that will add to our Bee Meadow area, should that come through. Stony Brook Farm is doing great. We're expanding. We're looking at additional gardens for the coming year. If anyone is interested in this spring, please let us know through Recreation, 428-2454, and join us in planting some vegetables for yourself in this coming year and enjoying a great growing season with the rest of us. My apologies to our library staff and our members of our library. As you know, the township is having some difficulty with the heating system over the library area. It is 40 years old? 40 years old, so I think we've got about as much out of it as we possibly can. We're working on that, and hopefully we've got the equipment. Hopefully it'll be back online within another day or two. Until then, the library is closed tomorrow, and it will be closed until we're confident that the heating system is back and operational again. Mayor, thank you. That's what I have.
Thank you, Ron. Brian?
Thank you, Ace. So just want to again, congratulations again to the 9 Whippany firefighters and their courageous actions on July 25th in Scotch Plains. But also, I just also want to congratulate the former or retiring business administrator for District 3, Jim Schultz. His retirement will become official on December 22nd. He's been with the district for 22 years. He started as the administrator about a year before I started on the committee, so roughly 9 years ago. Just did an outstanding job. His replacement, James Hart, is doing a fantastic job. As you saw, we just stood up there a moment ago. He's doing a great job as well, but I just wanted to give a shout out to Jim Schultz. He's great. He is a great guy. I'm sure we'll see him around, but he did an outstanding job for the district, and he'll be missed. Just a point of fact, on Friday night, beginning this Friday night, the annual Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over law enforcement campaign begins. This is something that happens every year, and there are certain municipalities that get funding from the state to fund extra patrols, and that can mean anything from just additional patrols on the roads to checkpoints and that sort of thing. While this year Hanover Township is not the recipient of any of those funds, I can assure you that the Hanover Township Police Department will remain diligent, as they always do every year, this time of year particularly. So, please think twice about drinking and driving. This particular campaign, the state campaign, does end on January 1st. And lastly, during our work session, I just wanted to share out here, we discussed some plans that the Landmark Commission is having around our 350th birthday here in Hanover Township, which coincides with the 250th birthday of the USA. They've come together with a number of items and a number of activities that they want to do beginning January 1 and running through the year, and culminating with some extraordinary events during Hanover Township Day. So we just talked about it amongst the committee from a budgetary standpoint and how perhaps the Recreation Department can assist them. So I just wanted to bring you up to speed on that and look for more news on that going forward. And then last but not least, I do want to wish everybody a very, very Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, Happy Hanukkah, and looking forward to a great new year in 2026.
Thank you, Brian. Before I have my closing comment, I want to just acknowledge Deputy Mayor Mike Mahalko for all of his work on this ordinance and much of the work that we've all put in for the last several months. to get to what we think is a very, very good place for many, many people. I also want to thank Krista DiGiorgio, because it's been a heavy lift, and Krista's a very, very big part of this team, as is the Chief Mike Locke. So Krista, thank you for all your great, great work, for real. Before I close, I want to ask Fred Samrow to please take the floor and touch a little bit on what you wanted to touch on during the public comment session.
Mayor, there were some questions about, enforcement and things of that nature, and that's separate and apart from the township's efforts to acquire the property, but it's still as very much relevant. From March of this year, there was a comment about whether there's the enforcement of the ordinance. I can say that on every aspect, when it comes to this matter, the township has turned every single corner, and that started with the ordinance amendment in March, and that ordinance amendment going forward on the hotel ordinance, and then with the administration and numerous departments seeing to it that everyone submitted an application and complied, inspections were made, and then when we ran into resistance, a lawsuit was filed in federal district court. The township has not only one set of legal counsel, two sets of legal counsel. It was to bring in an expert in the area. In that case, it is the hotel, the Red Carpet Hotel, and again, it's known as JSK as the owner. And in that case, it's still in federal district court. It's about enforcement matters. The only decision we have from the court is the township wanted this decided in federal district court, and the hotel wanted it decided in state court. And that took a few months, but the court decided that it agreed with the township. It would be heard in federal district court. And in the meantime, there was numerous efforts made almost on a daily basis, led by the mayor, and different elected officials. And I just have to say, as well as Senator Panaccio was very involved with Mayor Gallagher, to get down to Trenton, have those meetings. And it wasn't just the meetings. What emanated from that was relationships with myself, with the administration, with the mayor, to help work out a very good transition in place for the families. Then the mayor met with the families, with the state agency involved. And what happened was, just on a daily basis, in all different ways, and the mayor spoke to a number of residents that were very helpful to provide information. We even retained an expert as a township, with the support of the township committee, about housing conditions and things of that nature, if need be it. But along those lines, what started to culminate was a transition of the residents, and then on our side, seeing that the litigation was moving in a certain direction, we also, working with Blaise Blanchow and Sean Donlin, went back and dug up a number of records on all our hotels, and determined that there was some zoning issues that could be addressed as well, in conjunction with some decisions that were recently rendered by the Superior Court. So with that, Mr. Donlin then made certain determinations about hotels and stays. And to that end, we do have an agreement with, at this point, one hotel, and I expect more, thanks to the support of the governing body, that at this time restricts any long-term stays, any placements by state agencies for a long term, any placements that would result in what would be a definition of a resident or school children, that would not be permitted. And we have to remember, a hotel otherwise has a right to have guests for a short term, and that we have no right or say to say anything as long as they're compliant with our ordinances. So that will continue, and they may be, from different agencies, but not state family placement agencies. Like, for an example, during the cold evenings, one of the things that was discussed, and we didn't want to get in that way, was there's some legitimate, and I don't say rightful, short-term stays when the nights are very cold, that the hotel works with different state agencies, and that's still permitted. But As far as the long term, it's not. And so that, coupled with the continued working relationship that I have to say, thanks to the support of the governing body, but it's really been with the mayor on a daily basis. And I mean daily, because I think I got a lot of calls on Saturday, Sunday morning, I don't know.
You did, Fred, you did.
But for a good purpose, because he really wanted to make sure that, for example, if there was a change in state government at the end of this year, he was really trying to hurry to make sure we got all the answers we could get, so nobody would say, well, now we have different people coming in, and that could still happen. So there's a real push there, and so the transitions have continued. The enforcement is on two different levels, to the full extent of the law, thanks to all the support. I mean, when I say support, like the mayor said, you know, the administration, Joe, Krista, Blaze, Jerry, and you know, Krista was involved very much with the licensing, and that's with the mayor's, you know, daily interaction with all of us about this. So I think it's really been an enforcement on all ends, and something that was asked of me as well by a member of this governing body, Mr. Faramasca, was, well, we are looking at all the hotels, and we are. We're still working now with another hotel in town to make sure that they are compliant, and we're in discussions to hopefully have an agreement in place as well, and to make sure that they also abide by the law. So that's what's happening. And Mayor, I think we've seen throughout the state, you know, a lot of times through this process, I think the hard thing is residents, you would say, call, enforce the law, enforce the law. Well, we're seeing a lot of towns that are adopting ordinances, but the real difference in Hanover has been the ordinance have been enforced. That's probably why we're in court. And that's why we also have agreements that the governing body has said, all right, there'll be a stay. And that's why you have, with the reach out by the governing body and by the mayor to state representatives, so we're seeing the transition. So the transition of families, and with a lot of care. So I think all of that, and I think we've also tried to really listen to the Board of Education and hear what the concerns are. We attended a Board of Education meeting in the event there were questions, but that's all, you know, it's just been a collaborative effort. I think it's everybody unanimously has responded to that and that effort, but it's you know, really an accomplishment for the township, and it's happened in a way where, you know, the families in between don't get hurt. They're going to hopefully be in a better situation, and that's the sensitivity that the mayor has shown about this throughout the process as well. Passionate about this needing to be in a better place, but also to care for the families. So that's how it's worked, and I think you have a count, Mayor. There's about 115 straight days.
Yeah,
that this went on, from when this really came forward to the governing body in March. And, you know, we were advised with Joe Giorgio in a meeting, and yourself and myself, and it went from there, from all of us.
Thank you, Fred. I appreciate everything you've done through this whole exercise, and we're not done yet. A lot of people have called me up and asked me what we're doing, how we're going about it. And I said, it's no longer talk. We're getting a lot of movement in the right direction. And I said, however, we still have a lot more work to do, and we're not going to take our foot off the gas. And before I make my last two comments, I want to say you hit something pretty good. The way we came together was incredible. And I said at a Board of Ed meeting, there's two kinds of people and two kinds of problem solving. A, there's the person that wants to figure out whose fault it is, and that's okay. But that doesn't really solve the problem. Then there's the kind of person that wants to look at the issues and work very hard with every resource they can and every person they can to come up with a good resolution for the problem. And we worked lockstep with a lot of great people, very smart people, and it looks like we're going to get a very good result because of that. And it was 7 days a week for just about 100, I think tomorrow's 115 days, Fred, so you're exactly right. Before I make my close, I want to say that the Whippany-Passaic Flood Remediation Task Force is the only thing I'm going to report on before my holiday message. 2 weeks ago Friday, we received another $1.2 million. It was requested that myself and a small team want to meet with New Providence, Berkeley Heights, Chatham Borough, and Chatham Township, and it looks like this is going to be a much bigger initiative in a much wider range of areas, which is going to benefit everybody, because you simply just can't clean your area. You have to look upstream and downstream, because it's all affected. So that's going very, very well. We're going to have a busy winter, and we're looking at different programs on what we could do to hit more areas. And once again, Collier's Engineers is a major part of our team, and thank you to them, and thank God for them. So, Bill Byrne is going to like my last message. Holiday season is here, and what's interesting and beautiful about it, it's also very, very sad for too many people. A lot of people are lonely, a lot of people lost a lot of loved ones. I'm going to recommend, and I say that I have to do it too, pick up the phone and make a phone call. Somebody wants to hear from you. Sometimes you'll say, believe it or not, somebody wants to hear from you, but somebody wants to hear from you. So pick up the phone, make a phone call, check on them, let them know you were thinking about them. Ask if they, hey, you want me to stop by? I want to see you. I'll bring you a cup of coffee. I'll bring you some Dunkin' Donuts. That phone call can really light somebody up. And we work a lot with the Mental Health Association. And again, as beautiful as the holidays are, it's also very, very dark for too many people. So let's get together and all make that one phone call, and it'll make somebody very, very happy, or more than one person. That's all I got. I'd like to ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
That's it. Thank you.
Just wonder if I could mold the form around. Well, you closed the public session, which you didn't open up the track.